All right, everybody, Reggie Edwards from the Front Row Report here. I am joined today by Tedashii. Very exciting, man.
Yeah, man.
Rock of Worship Roadshow is about to kick off, man. How's it feel to be back on the tour?
I'm excited about it, bro. Like, the last time I did the tour was my first time to do a tour outside of the label, and, there was a lot of reservations and concerns and, all those different things, but, I mean, it was a phenomenal experience, and so I expect much of the same. There's a lot of the same team and crew out, but then also, there's some other artists who I know personally and have gotten to know over the last year or so I think it'll be a good time, bro.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a really cool lineup because it's a cool tour because you got a little bit of everything on there. It's a little, it's a good collection. You got some contemporary Christian, you got some rap, you got hip hop, you got dance, you got Crowder's bringing some bluegrass country style to it this year. It's always fun because you may go there expecting to see one artist you love and leave with two or three artists that you didn't know you were gonna like going into it.
Right.
What is it like being on such an eclectic tour?
I think it's a unique experience for me because being around all these different styles of music, there's just exposure to different types of talent, which is always an encouragement to me as an artist. But from a tour perspective, like as far as a fan coming to watch a tour, I know that sounds like it can be difficult, just having all these moving parts and all of these moving parts being different. But I think what you get to create is just a variety of exposure for the person attending, who goes, man, this is blowing my mind how all these different things can really glorify the Lord. And so that's kind of why I'm glad my aspect of the tour is a part of it this year, because I get to present a different way that people can approach the Lord, be intrigued and intensified and all those different things. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have to prepare any differently for a tour like this? Because you don't get a horribly long set time, but it's not the shortest either.
Right. No, I mean, I may have to consider what certain songs I would do because it's a larger venue than a small. Like if I was in a more intimate setting, then I may include some slower songs or some more thought-provoking music. But because of the size of the room, I want to have to consider that a little bit. But other than that, that's kind of the only change that I think of. Most of it though is it's already weird when you come in the room and you're well, how do I say it? Like if I'm in a room and it's all worship and rock music and then hip hop comes on, it automatically affects the mood. So there's not much work I have to do because it's already going to be different than everything else. But it's just a matter of maximizing the time I'm up there. So
okay, it's definitely going to be fun because I'm not sure who you're going to be coming on after, but I remember back in 2012, I think was the first Rock and Worship Roadshow I went to. It was 2012. Lecrae was on the tour, and then last year Andy Mineo was on the tour. As soon as those guys hit the stage, the whole energy just changed, and even if people aren't into that style of music, they're into it, man. They're loving it because it's just it's a party. As soon as the music hits, it's fun.
Yeah.
And you're supporting your album Below Paradise came out last year.
Right.
I know it's a very personal album, one of the most personal you've ever done.
Right.
What has it been like supporting that record specifically?
Yeah, I think that it's been a really unique opportunity for me as an artist. I know that a lot of people write from their experiences, but, just this experience that I've had has been so different than everyone else I know who are my contemporaries in what we do. And so I tend to have a unique voice in certain areas when it comes to this stuff. I did a tour last year, and people would walk up and share that they would share their deepest secrets or our hardest moments because they felt like I could relate, even if it was a different circumstance altogether. This one guy walked up and he confessed. He was like, "Man, I have terminal cancer. The last 2 weeks, I've done 3 and 4 things." He named like 3 or 4 different things that he had done that was sin. He was like, "I feel like you can understand and relate without judgment, but you can also direct me in the right direction. Hear my voice, please. Care for me, please." And he felt like I could care because I had been to a low point in my life, and I go, wow, I don't get why people feel so comfortable in that because it's a different circumstance, but then I do get it because there are just so many few people who've experienced certain things. And so to support this album on tour has been phenomenal from that place. But then personally, it's been high and low because you some days go out and do it just because it's music, and other days you do it because it's true ministry to your soul. But it always, no matter which one, it's always a reminder of what you experience. And so you do have to kind of relive that at times, but leave stage and have moments. Like I definitely leave stage and have moments of, a crying fest, or I have moments of confession and crying out to the Lord, or I'll grab a person who's traveling with me and go, hey man, I just need prayer right now. Let's just pray. Because I'm reliving that. And I think that's something that doesn't get seen a lot because people do enjoy the entertainment aspect of it. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of fans, I think, forget that the songs come from personal experiences, and like you just said, I was going to ask, do you ever have to find a time where you have to separate yourself from what influenced the song when you're on stage? Because every night you're reliving what influenced those songs.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. It's just such a personal record. I mean, it's easy to see why people feel they can relate so much to you, because as soon as people who are going through our time feel that there's somebody that's shared in anything tough, it's like there's a connection there, and it's almost like a family escalated almost.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So with the record releasing last year, have you started to think forward to what the next record is going to look like?
No, I just wanted to stay in a creative space, so I just kept writing, and it's been varied what the subject matter has been. I mean, everything from relationships to just having fun with the music. I mean, it's been a variety of different things. But the one thing I haven't done, because I am very systematized, which is a blessing and a curse, but I'm very systematized when it comes to writing. So I have to have things a certain way, but if I stay in a creative space, it allowed me to find variation, because if I don't, then I'll leave, not do music for a while, and come back and have to rework these systems to get them together again. And so that's why it's been varied, because I haven't tried to fight to have this lane or this system in place to achieve a certain topic. I'm just writing, which has been great.
Okay. How has the ministry of Tedashii, since you started, evolved and changed, if at all, since the beginning up to now in 2015?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I am the same with maturity, if that makes sense. When we first began, everything was about living unashamed, Romans 1:16, fighting to achieve this message that we belong to God, and through Him, by grace, we are secure, but we are also called to share that message with the rest of the world. And I feel like that's always stayed the same, but in the midst of that now, because of life and growth, we've been able to weave in there our different experiences, whether it's Lecrae talking about some of his personal issues and things that he's gone through, or it's me doing the same thing, or it's Andy talking about his relationship with his dad, or it's Tripoli talking about chronic fatigue. I mean, everything that's happened has been the same message, with this idea of weaving in our personal details so that we could bring more life to it and more substance to it. So it's not just this ambiguous, hey, live unashamed, which you don't know what that means. You take it as you take it for face value. So I think our own personal stories kind of give substance to it at the end of the day.
Awesome. Speaking of 116, any plans for more 116 click music coming in the near future, potentially?
Yeah, I think it's definitely always on the table for us, but just the seasons, bro. I mean, it's been insane. For like last year, I dropped my album. I take a year off from music, then I start back doing music. Then I drop my album, and then I start touring and promoting that. And in the process of that, Lecrae did an album. Andy's Andy had an EP, and KB had an EP. Everybody was just in album mode, and then life itself was taking people different directions so much that it was hard to really get it back on the table. But I think it is on the table. It's just a matter of time to make it happen.
Right. It's cool to see, especially with Lecrae. I mean, the mainstream attention that some of you guys have been getting lately as well. It's really gives a chance to live the Great Commission, what it's really meant to be in a lot of ways. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's been amazing.
So who are you looking forward to seeing the most on the Roadshow this year? Because I know, like you said, you did it a couple of years ago. I know when you did it in 2013, I think Family Force 5 was on the tour, which you were on their Chainsaw remix.
Right.
And it's going to be cool. I know Group 1 Crew's on the tour this year, which is going to be cool to see. But who are you looking forward to seeing the most?
So I'm weird, man. I do hip hop, but I love worship music.
Yeah.
Like I'm super weird. Like I like gospel music too, because my mom, when I was a kid, would play it. I didn't really care for it then, but now I kind of have an appreciation for it. But I love gospel music, but I also love folk and country music. So I'm looking forward to Crowder all day, bro.
Awesome.
I think I just like his style, man. I like his style. I like the sound. I think he's done a great job of being artistic within the worship music space that he's been given, and he does it better than most. And then I know that everybody may say it, but I'm definitely looking forward to Mercy Me, because their new album was insane. That new album is ridiculous.
It's
so good.
Oh,
it's so good, man.
Yeah.
And then just my opinion, I think it injected life back into Christian music for a certain space, because it was energetic, it was happy, but it was well written, it was fun, there was substance to it. I think they did well to give a full project and not just certain singles, which is what people normally do. And I'm a fan of albums more than singles. I like singles, they stand out, sure, but give me an album, because your single is going to take me to your album, but then if I have nothing from the album, I'll get frustrated. Like, no, moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
They did a great job of making that album, man. So those two I'm looking forward to. Now, that being said, I'm totally not biased. Like, I think I'll enjoy everyone else as well, because I love music, but Crowder does well within the space he has for worship, and then Mercy Me's new album was insane, so I'm looking forward to it.
It was, and Crowder's definitely done a really good job of breaking away kind of from what people may have expected him to do when he became a solo artist a little bit. People kind of expected the praise and worship style of the David Crowder band, and he just completely hitched out at left field with Neon Steeples, his solo debut. Man, it was so unexpected, I think, and like you said, Mercy Me's new album, that Welcome to the New, it's one of my favorite Mercy Me albums they've done yet, because it's just it's a little bit heavier than stuff they've done, but it's also got the stuff you'd expect from Mercy Me on there as well. So it's really just kind of a circle. But man, it's going to be a great tour, kicking off soon, hitting Indianapolis on February 26th at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Everyone, make sure you get out and check out the show. $10 admission at the door. You can't beat that.
Cannot beat it.
It's impossible. It cannot be beat.